What we gonna do right here is go back. Way back. Back into time.
Welcome, everyone, to Way Back Wednesday. I am Lance Falatongo. Sefa M will be back next episode. This is a nostalgic podcast compilation episode where we're going to be going back in time to see some of the clips from Way Back Wednesday. We've almost got 20 episodes, got 18 of our own from MySpace, Pokemon, PlayStation versus Xbox, The Lion King, a bunch of different movie drafts from different years. We've covered a lot on this show, but we're going to pick a couple of the different conversations that we've had in certain episodes and just go back over them if you haven't got a chance to hear them yet. This first one is from our very first episode, Chapter 1, Show Intro and MySpace. And this is how Sefa learned about MySpace and got onto it. Enjoy.
You know what's funny? I remember the very first instant or the very first moment I heard of MySpace.
Damn.
We were in a computer class. I was in 7th grade. We was in computer class and there was a kid. Like we used to be on the video mini clips, playing video games on the computers. And there was a kid in there. I forgot his name, little black homie. And he was on MySpace. I didn't know what it was at the time, but there were like different things in the bulletins, right? Mm-hmm. Like little gadgets and widgets or whatever. And one of the things that he was on MySpace on, he had clicked the link and it went to another thing, was you type in your name and this is how old this was. You type in your name and it tells you how sexy you are, right? Yeah. I swear to you, bro. That was the first time I seen MySpace. The first time somebody showed me like one of them little widgets or whatever you call it. Yeah. And he was just taking everyone's name, or Jordan, or Michael, whatever. And I remember everybody was getting like a 7 or an 8. That fool put in Sefa. That one went to a 3. I think it's just so like you need to put a bag over your head or something. And I just remember everybody making fun of me. It was running around the classroom laughing.
No.
And I was like, oh, damn. And I remember I went home that night. I signed up for MySpace and I purposely went to go look for that thing. And I kept typing my name in there.
Did you get different answers?
I got an 8. That was the highest I got. I kept going like it was like a 5, 6, 7, whatever. But then when I hit the 8, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." It was like,
hey, screenshot that.
Yeah,
it's like this to class.
That was the first time I ever heard of MySpace, and after that, I was hooked, bro.
Did you Did you have to like type in your name like with like your full name to get a different score, or were you just typing in same Sefa and it would spit out different?
Same one. It was fake, but it still hurt.
Yeah, the hurt is real, bro.
It
was around the classroom.
It was not pleasant. Not as a 7th grade year old, 7th grader dealing with insecurity at the time, Yeah. I'm not who I was, I was very, my ego was very fragile. So
that's such an important part of like social media and MySpace though, bro. Yeah. Like and then at that time, the early 2000s, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were just going on trying to put a cool page up.
I used to put my whole address online. What? I used to put my whole address online, bro. Like I used to put all my details, my full first and last name and middle name. I didn't know there was no like security measures. Nobody really told us anything. I was friends. I used to be friends with like probably grown men telling them about my whole day.
Exactly. That's actually like a big part of like MySpace. The end of MySpace is like they were just having issues with people pretending to be other people and like trying to trick people. Trying to
you ever got
you
ever got catfished?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can't remember. Like I'm trying to think of the details.
Don't act like
I'd be
you
like
don't
Ghost.
remember.
It was a long time ago. It was like 20 years ago. But I'm sure it happened. I've had like what I felt were like real conversations with people, and then was like, all right, so I'll see you at the theaters, and then never hear from them again. And I was like, oh,
You was
that's
meeting up
some
with
fake.
people? You
No, it'd be like something
crazy.
like that. Hey, I'm gonna be at Laufo or something if you want to like roll
Oh,
by, or
oh, you in
yeah,
Samoa. It's
Call of
different.
Duty. Oh yeah, yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I,
I
th-
was
I
in
thought you was
Samoa.
in I thought you was in Carson trying to meet up with people.
No.
That would be crazy, yo.
All right, nice. This next clip is from episode 11, our Disney song draft. And this is why Circle of Life is the best Disney song ever. And how to traumatize your little cousins if they haven't ever watched it yet. The first overall pick. Thank you. I
All right, let's
appreciate it.
go. Let's go.
We're starting the year off right.
God knew you needed it.
Number one pick in the Disney song draft. Mary Poppins, just kidding. The Lion King, Circle of Life. Give it to me.
I was about to say, if you chose Mary Poppins, I was like, this is over. This is over. If that's his number one.
We've talked about this movie being great. We've done a whole episode on The Lion King. The Circle of Life, composed and written by Tim Rice, performed by Elton John. Stats.
Nerd.
Helped push the Lion King album to almost 5 million sales in its first year alone. Just one of the greatest openings to a movie. The coronation of Simba is the scene, all the animals, and it really kicks off that movie great. I think it's a great first pick. I think a lot of people know it. A lot of people have remember it, have been moved by it. Yeah. I watched that shit with my daughter, like for the first time. Bro, I was in tears.
It?
She was barely paying attention, right? But I'm just like, just thinking about like her future. I was like, I want her to like the stuff I like. Obviously, I like the Lion King, the songs, Disney stuff. So, but also, yeah, just like the potential of a child at the beginning of its life, and the responsibility of the parents to take care of them. I don't know. That really hit me the last time I watched it, which was the first time I watched it with her.
Lance is such a father, bro.
Yeah, the Zulu vocals at the beginning, the bars, the tune, everything. Circle of Life, I think, is my first pick.
When I so my little cousin, like 5 years ago, I had to fly to Hawaii to babysit, right? So I was watching my little cousins when my auntie was working and my uncle was deployed. So we were chilling, and I watched Lion King with them. And I want to say they were like 2 and 1, like 2 years old and 1 year old. But they was hella into it. I have a
Have they
video.
seen it before?
No, not at that time.
Wow.
So they were hella into it, right? I have a video of them, and like they were crying, like when all this stampede stuff was coming, they were like all worried. And then I have the video when I think it was when Simba was trying to talk to the dad and he was dying or he was dead. And I was showing the screen, and then I turned it to them, and they were like, they're literally sucking their thumbs, crying, and like they were hella sad and hella mad, and they were like, "Wake up!" Like
that Scar guy is evil.
Yeah. And so I showed my auntie thinking it was funny. She's like, "How you just go scare my babies like this?" She was hella mad. She was hella mad. I felt bad.
Why are you making my babies cry?
I didn't even think of that. That was a traumatic experience because of Uncle Sefa. And I'm over there like
evil uncle,
posting it on Snapchat. Yeah, so obviously our situations are totally different. We're watching movies with kids. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to scar them.
Crying.
I'm trying to scar them for life,
This third clip that we have loaded up for you is from our X-Men episode. It's chapter 12 on the Way Back Wednesday podcast, and how it convinced sections of our cousins to gangbang. Have a listen. Professor X versus Magneto. They were the heads of the two teams. Professor Charles Xavier, who had psychic powers and was able to control people, like super strong telepathy. and whatever the mind control word is, versus Magneto.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, there you go.
Telekinesis. You know what I'm saying? He's bending spoons in his sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Versus Magneto, who
Mhm.
has the ability to control and manipulate any metal,
Mhm.
anywhere.
Yeah.
When you think about it, that's a very strong power. But apparently, they were friends, and then their ideals separated. So Charles Xavier's like, humans are just scared, but we need to foster a good relationship. And
Mhm.
Magneto's like, humans are trying to kill us. We need to kill them, make sure all the mutants are safe.
Mhm.
Peace through strength type stuff. So they butted heads there and eventually made two different teams that go about their way in this mutant world two entirely different ways. The X-Men are all about protecting mutants, um, defending them against bad mutants or humans, and then the Brotherhood with Magneto?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
about executing Magneto's master plan and whatever needs to happen for that. They got all the strong bad guys, Sabretooth, Juggernaut, Mystique, that can do all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, it definitely led to great battles, and great matchups versus these different mutants. And it was cool to see everybody's different powers and different strengths and how they matched up on each other. Did you
I'm
have? Oh,
I'm
good.
not gonna lie, bro. I think X-Men is the reason why a lot of my cousins was gang banging because we
What?
we grew up watching a cartoon about gang banging. Like there was gangs, they was just gang banging. Like they was just going around the city trying to claim territory, trying to recruit members. You know what I'm saying? It was like, nah, you part of the mansion, X-Men, and it was like X-Men versus Brotherhood. Like they was really gang banging, and like yeah, that's probably why a lot of my cousins fell into that trap because that mug was cool. It was like, I want to be an X-Man.
Yeah.
But they was just, you know what I mean? It was just different gangs. But now that I'm looking at it, like literally, bro, it was like Magneto and his little homies versus Charles Xavier and his little homies. And then meet up and just fight. Just fight. Just
Yeah. Get out of our way. No, we won't. All right, then here we go again.
yeah, like so yeah, shout out to X-Men for glorifying the street life, man. Y'all are the reason. Y'all are the reason my folks is locked up, man. God damn, man. We needed to watch more Teletubbies or freaking Care Bears.
All right, this next one is a sports clip from chapter 14 of Way Back Wednesday, our Sports Legends episode. Um, this was talking more about people's fandoms from out of the area, like if you like a team across the country for certain reasons, and whether we think that's suspect or not.
He was just checking you just to check you.
Yeah, he was like, look, I don't want you going out here and looking all weird. People are gonna be like, oh, you like the Bulls in '98? Imagine that.
I ain't gonna lie, he was looking out for you because that is kind of crazy. Like when I honestly, bro, I look at people weird when they from a city that has teams and then they don't like that team.
Mm.
Like well, I grew up with people who was born and raised in Sacramento, and I guess it's different. It's different when like maybe your parents ain't from there, and so you grow up in a household that's a Laker household
Mm.
in Sacramento. I kind of get that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I kind of get that, but like I knew people who just chose to be Laker fans because they was good and born and raised in Sacramento, and
Yeah.
I'm just like. I don't trust you. You a snitch. You a snitch on somebody. If y'all robbed the store, you would tell on somebody. Like you flip flopping. You got your roots is very in sand. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like yeah, I also share that sentiment when people are like, "Oh, I'm a Cavaliers fan and a Yankee fan and a Tampa Bay Rays fan," and I'm like, "What? Well, how did that happen?" It's like, "Oh, they all won championships at different points of my life." I was like, "Oh, that's." I don't know if that. I don't think that's legit reason. That is that what you're talking about. They just started winning, so they started going to that team or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, I also try not to fault people for having out of city teams because there are the people that are like, oh, I moved from there, or my cousin plays for them, or
I'll be
my
doing
uncle
my
went to that school or something.
I do my research before I hate. I'll be like, oh, for real, you a Baltimore fan? When's the last time you've been to Baltimore?
Yeah.
How was
time you watched The
Maryland?
Wire?
But yeah, nah. You know what though? When I went to Samoa, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of hating, bro.
There's
I was kind of hating, bro, because it's like you can't get mad
right.
at whoever they choose because they so far removed.
Exactly.
It's like you have to pick and choose. Like you have to make a decision. So then, like when I ran into like Patriots fans over there, and I was just like,
nah. It's
I
like
mean,
I feel like it's one thing to be a fan of a team outside of your country, like especially if you're in American Samoa and there's no teams close to you, right? The closest team is the Chargers and the Rams in LA. But yeah, if you pick a team that is outside of your area and is winning and is just like won a bunch of Super Bowls and you're a fan because of that, I was like, you did not earn that. You did not go through the suck to get to the wins.
You did not go through the suck. That's crazy. That's crazy, Lance. Don't you ever say that again.
That's an Army saying, bro. Embrace the suck. Okay.
The worst thing I ever heard was a kid in Samoa. He said he was a Patriots fan, and I said, all right, I mean, I get it. I know that you chose them because they were winning. This fool looked at me and said, no, I chose him because Junior Seau. I was like, what the hell?
Okay. For one season.
I said, like he's not known for being there. They was like, no, he was playing when I was in high school. I was like, bruh, okay, whatever.
The most famous Junior Seau in a Patriots jersey picture is him walking off the field when the Giants confetti is raining down on him. That's like the most memorable Patriots Junior Seau picture I can think of. Him on the Dolphins, that also sucked because he left the Chargers to go to the Dolphins. But yeah, shout out to Junior Seau who was on the Patriots, and I guess a bunch of people could have used that as an excuse, especially Samoans. Same with Troy for the Steelers when the Steelers popped off for so long.
I will say this. JD and the homies, they said that they was Steeler fans before Troy because there's like another Samoan dude back in the day. You know who
that played for them?
Yeah.
Chris Fua Matuma Afala?
Yo, Lance is gonna win the obscure part. Who the hell is you talking about right now?
Oh wait, are you talking about the linemen?
I don't know.
But see, for JD and them, they were fans before it popped off, and still after through the Mason Rudolph.
Because they suck right now.
Yeah, if you're still a fan now, that's cool.
They really suck right now. They really suck right now.
Didn't they make it to the playoffs? This next one really starts showing our age because not only is it a throwback topic, but the topic has changed at this point in time from like old people music to our people music. And this one's halftime shows. Chapter 15 of the Way Back Wednesday podcast. Man, time just keeps trucking along. Have a listen. Yeah, I feel like in the 2000s we had Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen a lot, Madonna, Lady Gaga. It was real pop. It was like pop or rock, right? It was, and I feel like that was kind of what they thought people wanted to see. Like, look at these classical or longtime popular artists. But I feel like for a long time I didn't even want to watch the halftime show because it was just like some old songs or some old people that I didn't really know.
Yeah, we just weren't the target demographic at the time, you know. Like I think now we identify with it more, or we want to watch it more because the music that we listen to is the most popular right now. Like hip hop wasn't as popular back in the day, so then hip hop, R&B, soul, all of this stuff, it just wasn't in the spotlight like it is now. And I think now that we're here. But now that hip hop is here, you know, they're gonna follow and say, "Oh, hip hop is the biggest thing right now. We finna get a hip hop act," and now we who love hip hop are like, "Oh, this is my kind of show."
What you know about this?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely could see the majority of America vibing out to Bruce Springsteen. I can see that back in the day.
The majority, gotcha.
Don't bring him around these days though. You know, but back in the day for sure.
I think he got a Christmas album now. I think one of the first Super Bowl shows I can really remember was the Wardrobe Malfunction. Janet Jackson.
Oh yeah,
Justin Timberlake.
You was rewatching? No.
No. That's that play. I already know what it looks like in my head. I can't. It's like
I'm gonna have you naked by the end of this
the
song.
Oh my gosh! Was it fake? Was it feigned disbelief? Like, oh
I'm
my
not gonna
gosh,
lie.
what did you do?
I don't really remember it like that. But what I do remember was, or what I think I remember, did she have like paint on it? Like it
I feel
wasn't.
like she had like an undercovering. Yeah, it wasn't bare.
Nah, I thought it was like paint. Like I thought it was like body paint. I don't know.
It was something, right? It was something.
Yeah, it
else.
was like a star.
Yeah,
I could be tripping though, because I was a kid when I seen that, and you know, it was just like,
whoa, yes. Her wardrobe just.
Can someone turn this? I want to watch the Bible channel, please.
They said that was like the slide to Janet Jackson's career, started from right there. Started getting blackballed. Nothing happened to Justin Timberlake. He kind of went up a lot.
A lot. And he left her out to dry. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. Dora the Explorer and Blue's Clues, but also Sefa gives a really good breakdown of Avatar. If you haven't seen it, really intriguing, interesting, and it like makes me want to watch and break down the whole show. Here you go. I didn't know this was Nickelodeon. Dora the Explorer.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Nice.
That's a classic. That's a big show too. A lot of kids grew up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a little younger than us, but yeah, swiper no swiping. You know?
Would you say Blue's Clues is more of our Dora the Explorer?
Yeah. Blue's Clues for sure. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just
got a letter.
I wonder who it's from. No, that fool used to draw, and I'd be like, I wish I could draw as good as him. And then, like, you look at it now, it's like, bro, this is trash drawing. And he be drawing like this, like it's this big old notebook. It's just like, bro, what is that? As a kid, I'm like, it's a house.
I'm trying to get my kids to start answering some of the time, but she's just like staring back up at the TV when the Miss Rachel's like, what shape is this? And she's like, just staring. And Miss Rachel's like, that's right. It's a square. Good job. And then my kid will be like, yeah, good job. And I'm like, wait, you didn't do anything.
You are definitely a parent, because I heard people talking on a podcast about this Miss Rachel, and I'd never heard of her. And they were like, ask any parent.
Yeah.
Any parent with a toddler child, like a young child, they know who Miss Rachel is. And I was just like, well, I don't know anybody with kids. And I was like, oh, wait, now I forgot. Do you have kids? And like, now that you just mentioned her, I'm like, oh, she must be popping.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and yeah, shout out to Miss Rachel. Yeah, check her out if you have kids and you need to leave them in front of the TV for 20 to 40 minutes. Very effective.
Let's just like, here, you watch Miss Rachel. I got a podcast to record.
Yeah. Look, just don't yell too loud. Just keep these earphones on.
That explains why he was like, okay, let's start the episode. Hey, like, damn, Lance.
Go. I only got 2 commercial breaks left. Come on. Yeah. Shout out to Blue's Clues, Dora the Explorer. I feel like young kid educational shows. Also Avatar, Last Airbender.
Bro, Avatar is one of my favorites. I had it in my list. I just forgot to talk about it. Did you watch Avatar?
No. I'm sorry. But you did. So tell me about Aang. Wait, so the misogynist brother, like, what is
he was just a romantic. He was a hopeless romantic, okay?
What's his name?
Sokka.
Sokka. Okay.
Avatar is a show about the Avatar. Aang, the Avatar, the last Avatar, or the last Airbender. Basically, in this world, there are people who can move the four elements. They can control fire, earth, water, air, and every like lifetime, there's a different Avatar, and the Avatar is basically someone who can control all four. You know, the only one that can control all four. And so the Avatar is born, and each nation gets a turn with the Avatar. And so
Oh,
there was a turn for the Avatar to be in the air nation, right? And there was this comet. This comet was coming, and it made everybody from the Fire Nation a little stronger. And basically, what they did was they figured that the air temples would have the next Avatar, and the Fire Nation went and they killed all the Avatar, all the Airbenders. So they wiped them out in hopes of
wow.
wiping out the Avatar, because I think the next round would have been in the Fire Nation. I don't know how it went exactly, but that's what they did. But the thing was, at that time, and mind you, this was like 100 years prior to the show. At the time, that kid, the Avatar, Aang, he like did not like being an Avatar. He wanted to be a regular kid. He was a goofy kid, whatever. He ended up running away the night that they got attacked. And when he ran away, he got swept into like, the ocean, and he needed to protect himself, and he built a little barrier, and then he got frozen in time. And so for 100 years, there was no Avatar. And mind you, before that, there was either an Avatar, or if the Avatar died, the next Avatar would pop up. So they didn't have an Avatar for 100 years, and people just thought it was the end of it, and the Fire Nation took over, and they were running everything. And then he got found in the ice, and then so the show was just about him growing up, navigating being an Avatar in a world where there's no Avatar. So they have to like meet people and figure out how to
Word.
earth bending, fire bending, water bending. So yeah,
When
it's
he
pretty
comes
dope.
when he comes out of the ice, does he not know how to do the water, fire, earth bending?
No, because he was still like 12 and he was still learning. Like
Oh, okay.
lifelong process for the avatars to learn like all the different, well, usually.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, and one of the my favorite episodes of that is they go to this earth kingdom, because like the Fire Nation is ruling everywhere, but they still got different kingdoms and they kind of keep to themselves. And this Earth Kingdom is like I think it's Ba Sing Se, I think that's what it is, and it's like a fortress. Like you can't really get in. And so Aang was like, "Oh, I used to go here as a kid with my homie Boomy, and I used to be chilling over here, and like they have like this expressway where like they deliver goods and stuff, and they push them on through, and it's like little carts, like the mining carts. Remember how they used to go on the tracks?"
Mhm.
And they was like riding in there and hanging out or whatever. Then they get caught. Then the king catches them, and they have to go in front of this king, and it's this crazy looking dude, this old man. And then that was his homie that he grew up with.
Hey.
100 years later, like he was like an old man, and he was like, yeah,
Oh, okay. I was about to say 100 years later, so now he's like super old
he's
and
like
the leader.
112. Yeah, yeah, he's like super. But yeah, that episode was really cool. I like that. That was so yeah, bro. You gotta watch Avatar,
I
bro.
feel like that was a great explanation of the premise of the show. That was good. Speaking of awesome, entertaining animations, this clip, taken from our Chapter 18 episode of Dragon Ball, where we had guest Mikey Hodges on, huge super anime fan, and also Sefa, who's also a huge anime fan, talking about the meaning, the lessons, and the overall takeaways from Dragon Ball. And then there's also some tag info at the end that will, like, you can listen to our show on YouTube or on the Spotify, but we've got it all under one umbrella, and details at the end of this clip. Enjoy. Uh, Before we wrap up, talking about Dragon Ball, what, Mikey, would you say is like your biggest takeaway or lesson from the series, from the franchise of Dragon Ball?
Man, I would say that with Dragon Ball, it just taught you that like it isn't it isn't where you're born. It isn't. It's your circumstances. All of those things can be overcome to be a good person, and that's Goku in a nutshell. Basically, like this planet's blown up. He has no parents. He's sent out to another planet to destroy it. He gets bunked on the head, and he finds the luckiest person, Gohan. And he just adopts him, and it makes him just a nice person, and all he really cares about is training, getting stronger, and eating food. And so I feel like if you keep a simple life and stay focused on the small things around you, you'll be fine, So it's not really your circumstances. It's like if you stay humble and stay adamant about not a bunch of aspirations, but just one good aspiration, just being a good person. I feel like that's the best takeaway from that series.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, especially coming from like a killer planet, or you're part of the Frieza's killer squad, and then you're able to change that just by your environment or people showing you the right way. That's dope. Sefa, biggest lesson or like a takeaway from Dragon Ball for you?
I feel like this was a clip from the Toonami, like, when they would, when Toonami would start, they'd have different clips from different shows that they're about to play you. And I think one of the clips that I always seen when Toonami was starting that I always stuck with me with Goku was he was always saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Like there was some clip, I don't know what episode it is, I don't know when it happened, but it was somewhere in Dragon Ball Z where he was like talking to Gohan and he said, where there's a will, there's a way. And that has always stuck with me. And I feel like that is, Goku's and in turn Akira Toriyama's like message from there is like, as long as you got some will, as long as you want things to change, you can make it happen. And so, yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. That's all. I can hear it in my head right now in Goku's voice. Like that's how much it's ingrained in me. That's he showed it throughout all the different arcs, all the different enemies that he faced, all the different trials and tribulations that he went through. So yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. That's mine for sure.
Very nice. Dragon Ball, obviously a huge, mega media franchise that is known the world over. Created in 1984 by Akira Toriyama. Rest in peace. Passed away early this month. But definitely, cherishing this time to be able to talk his creations and something that's so very important to you guys and to I know so many of our listeners, so many people out there, and kind of how influential Dragon Ball was, not just for the people, but on different animes, and how they kind of set the standard and have been pulled from for so long, and we're really kind of used to that and thankful for kind of that vision by Akira. So yeah, thank you guys for jumping on here and talking through Dragon Ball. That is our episode for this week. Definitely hit up the Polytickin Network on YouTube or the Polytickin feed on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and listen to the latest episodes of Way Back Wednesday, the Polytickin podcast, the Pacifica Movie Starter Kit. All right. That's our first Way Back Wednesday podcast compilation episode for this conversation podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you guys next time. We're going to be releasing Saturdays. Saturdays for Way Back Wednesday and also alternating Saturdays with the Pacifica Movie Starter Kit. Shout out to Oh Hello Marcus. Got Next Goal Wins on the docket. The Taika Waititi film. Coming up next. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, follow, rate us 5 stars, spread the word, let your friends and family know that there's some Islanders doing funny podcasts. It's funny. But yeah, definitely like bringing this information and having these conversations for us and also for people to jump in. Definitely comment, follow us, yeah, tap in, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.